Many thanks, Presiding Officer. Presiding Officer, it's really good that so many members have stayed back and are making a contribution to this debate, which is of enormous importance not only to women, but to their families and indeed the family's well-being. When I was in my late teens, my mother and father would continually lecture me on the need to firstly provide myself with adequate life insurance and secondly a pension. Although they were by no means well off themselves, nevertheless, this was always a priority for them, and they encouraged me to follow suit. Of course, when you are young, these things seem a long way off and to be a little of no relevance, and certainly not at the front of your priorities. But in my case, I was glad I listened to them, although that was more to keep them happy than thinking it was the right thing to do. It was not until my late 20s that I fully understood why and to appreciate the security that this provided, not just for me, but the family that I now had, being married with a child. Thinking back, if the truth be known, that the fact that week by week, month by month, year by year, I was contributing to the National Insurance Scheme. And knowing there was a time when the government of the day would make good its promise of a state pension was something you had in the bank that was secure. This worked against the notion of being bothered of any additional provision for your retirement. The date of retirement for everybody was a definite and it was certain. And since it was the government who were the public providers, then that was considered as rock solid. Bringing matters forward until today, when we find that we are in a situation, particularly for women, who all their lives have planned and taken for granted that what they have been working for and what they were promised and what indeed they were entitled to has been taken away from them, not by a callous private provider, but by their own government, breaking contract without any redress of any kind. Just think what would have happened if a rogue private provider at the end of the contract said, "We have ripped up the agreement, we have ignored the deal, we have taken your payment, we have unilaterally extended the date when we will pay out." Presiding Officer, the roof would have collapsed in on them. The fact that this is the UK government who have acted in this unilateral way and stolen pensions rights from WASPI women does not make it acceptable. The fact that the UK government have brought in legislation to make this theft legal does not make it just. The fact that the UK government have the power to act in this reprehensible way does not make it honest. Presiding Officer, the effects on women's well-being by the impact of measures is and will continue to be profound. It's time for the UK government to recognise the damage that has been done and to reverse this mean-hearted measure and restore trust in the pension system. It's time to restore pensioners' right for all affected women. Support WASPI women.